Hi everyone, I'm back. It's been about 4.5 weeks since I last made a video, so a little bit of a hot minute, I think. So I managed to kind of gather myself together today. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of June. This is Flosstube number 36, and welcome to my channel. There's been quite a lot happening, and I'd like to thank everyone who reached out to ask me what had happened, where was my video, or how was my trip, where was I on Instagram. It was really appreciated, but actually I've been quite sick. I'm laughing now, but it's been quite a traumatic few weeks. So I got a bit of an update. I think I'm going to start by maybe doing the life update first. And if that doesn't interest people, no problem, skip forward. And there's loads of Stitchy stuff as well. Because even though I'm sick, I'm still able to buy haul. So the first thing is, I think before the last video, I was just about to go on my trip to Istanbul with my work. Well, the trip did go ahead, and I was there. Unfortunately, my leg did not cope well with the trip. That's really the crux of where I've been. The weather was fantastic. The people I work for really did literally push the boat out for us. It was a beautiful hotel. They hired a yacht for us. It was actually fantastic. It was really good. The unfortunate side of it is that clearly this was a trip too far for my leg. And if you're new here, you probably don't realise, but last June I fell, broke my leg, have a nice plate and pins and everything in my leg. And it's been a kind of long road back to recovery, and the trip to Istanbul just kind of pushed me over the edge. There was a lot of walking involved, and I am fair to say that from day one, my leg did not cope. So even from, I think as soon as I got to Amsterdam airport, my leg was like, what is going on? What are you doing? It's too much walking. So literally that's what it was. My leg did not cope well. When we were away, I took a day where I didn't go with everyone. I stayed in the hotel, iced my leg. Didn't make any difference. Things were really bad. My leg was very swollen. So when I got back here to the UK, my leg was still swollen, and it was really bad, and I was getting very strange pains, and what happened was just over a period of time it just got bigger and bigger, and it started going bright scarlet red, and eventually I had to go to the out of hours GP service, who were like, "Go, you can't walk on that, please get in a wheelchair, and you need to go to the orthopaedic trauma unit up in one of the other hospitals in Glasgow." So I went there, and they were like, "Okay, we don't know what it is. We think it's deep vein thrombosis from your flights. It may be cellulitis, which is a bacterial infection, but we need to take bloods, we need to do some tests, we need to try and find out." So I was there all day, all night, and they came back and were like, "Well, look, your infection levels are not huge. We will send you for an ultrasound to scan your veins, but you need to be on blood thinners." So immediately they put me on blood thinners, which is the injections, which my mum has experience of giving to me, so they were not new for her. And they put a dressing which has a pump on it to remove the infection. Probably missed that bit out, but at one point my leg started to leak some stuff that it shouldn't be leaking from my wound. So then I had this pump dressing, which just literally stays on for a week, makes this annoying noise day and night, just to try and pull out the infection. They put me on some antibiotics and the blood thinner injections, which my mother, who I call Nurse Ratchet, has great pleasure in giving them to me. And then a few days later, I went for my scan for my deep vein thrombosis, and I don't have that. My veins were all fine, so that was good news. And they also said it wasn't cellulitis. So they didn't quite know what was happening with my leg. It was still red and it was still slightly swollen, but it wasn't right. So eventually I had to go back to the orthopaedic consultant who removed the dressing, the pump dressing. And to cut a long story short, all the metal work needs to come out my leg. So at some point in the near future, I'll be going back in for surgery to have all the metal work removed. And that's because the infection is on the metal work. It's not on my soft tissue, which has been can be treated with antibiotics. But when it's on the metal work, they can't treat it with antibiotics. So that's what's happening. I have another appointment next week at the hospital that will do the surgery, and we'll see what happens. But I expect it to happen sooner rather than later, because at the moment I'm now living with this infection. Some days I'm really, really quite ill. Yesterday I was really ill. It's like everything that you would expect if you have an infection. I have high fever, I have shivers, I have a lot of pain in my leg, just like my body's really trying to fight it. I'm not quite ready for another course of antibiotics. That's my choice. But it's leaving me a bit tired, a bit weak, and certainly not the way I was. So that's why I've not really been stitching. I've not been able to film a video. I've not been well enough. Obviously, now that I've had one course of antibiotics, I do feel a bit better. But what we need to do now is, first of all, my leg gets dressed every day. My mum does it because the wound is still open. At the bottom of my scar, there's this hole that has now appeared. So stuff leaks out of that. And what they need to watch for is, first of all, if my leg swells up more, and if that wound fills, then I should go back and get another pump dressing applied to it. At the moment, it's fine. So I'm hoping next Tuesday, I think it is, I'm back at the hospital. I'm hoping that they can either give me a kind of idea of when the surgery is going to be, and maybe help me deal with the kind of shivers and the chills and the extreme. It's not even tired, it's just no lack of energy. Because some days I even struggle, and you'll see that in my stitching. What I've been stitching is all very small things, because I've just not been able to sit for long periods of time. So yes, all the metal's coming out, the plate, the pins, the screws, all of it will come out. I won't need a cast. I'm hoping they just go in, cut it open, take it all out, sew me up, and then I can get back on with my life. But that's really what's been happening. That's where I've been, and I do really appreciate everyone who's reached out to me, because, yeah, sometimes I didn't stitch for weeks. It's over 4 weeks since I filmed, and it's probably been 2.5 weeks of that I didn't stitch at all, and it's only just been maybe in the last 10 days that I've managed to have the energy and the ability to focus, to be able to stitch. So yeah, it's been a tough old time. I feel as if I just kind of get over one thing and then there's something else happening. A quick update about my dad. Things are fairly stable as what they've been. We've had the nurses come out to help him, and he's got a little bit of a special case because he's got both the Alzheimer's and the Lewy body dementia, and we've got an occupational therapist coming out to help him with his eating, maybe to give him some adaptive cutlery, and maybe some other things around the house to help him. I'm just going to try and move that because you seem to just get the shine from my glasses, which will be super annoying for you watching this, and I will try and keep my head in such a way that you don't always just get the glare, so I apologise. So that's what's been happening with him. Today I managed to get some time for a coffee with my mum, which was quite nice. She's still hanging in there, I would say. She's hanging in there. It's tough times for her, and now she's got to worry about me, but she doesn't have to worry about me because I'll be fine. So I don't really want her worrying about me, but just the whole thing that I'm going back into hospital, and obviously she can see that I struggle to walk, and yeah, she can see that at times I'm really sick. I'm not now, I'm feeling fine today, but yesterday I was really quite bad. Anyway, enough of that rambling on, but just so you know that I'm still around and I have been stitching. So let me share what I've been stitching on. I've got a couple of new starts, I've got a couple of finishes, I have a little bit that I've stitched on here and there. There's not a great volume of stitching. I'm hoping that I will manage to build some more up. I've got a lovely little giveaway, and of course I've got haul, because a video of mine without haul doesn't exist. Anyway, let me show you what I have been working on and what I finished. So the first thing I want to show you that I finished, and I was so close to finishing it, I think the last time that I saw you. I haven't ironed anything, of course. And it was this one here, which was Summer House Stitch Works. And this is Spring Awakens. And I stitched this using the called for threads. And this is Fibre on a Whim, Cream and Sugar, which is like my go-to neutral at the moment. But I absolutely love this. I haven't bought the summer one yet. I will get it. I already have the winter one, so we'll just wait for the autumn one to come out. But I'm absolutely loving this. This was a great stitch. I think I liked it the most because it was just so easy to work on the colour blocks. They were a nice, enjoyable stitch. I'm thinking also I want to get this finished as a larger pillow. What normally happens is once I finish stitching stuff, I put it on it would be a trouser hanger, you know, with the two clips at the top, and I leave it in the room next door until I know it's time to film, and then I show it to you. But every time I looked at it, I just saw it as a nice kind of big plump pillow. So I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. I'm not 100% convinced yet, but I'm thinking that might be what I do. This was part of a stitch along with a lovely Susan. She finished hers. It was beautiful. But I don't know, there's quite a few people stitching these, and I think Fat Quarter Shop were also stitching them as part of their maybe Stitch Mania. But they're super easy, I would say, and really enjoyable stitches. I would say I used just about the whole skein of the blue. The other one's less so, but the blue I did eat it up. I don't think I did loads of frogging. But yeah, so that's Spring Awakens by Summer House Stitch Works. And then I had a new start, which was from this little booklet here by Lizzie Kate. And the one I stitched on was this one here, which was Love My Coffee. I believe these are still in print. I'm going to post this off to one of my lovely friends because she liked it, and this is my finish on this. And this is stitched on 32 count Seraphim Bee's Knees, and they're all the called for, and they're all over dies. I've got them here actually. They're all over dies. I just bought everything that I needed, but it turns out I didn't need them all for that design. But yeah, absolutely loved that. Didn't take that long, even with my very short attention span that I have at the moment. But I've finished that, and this is actually going to be a gift for someone, and I've already contacted Lynn from Lynn's Heartfelt Finishing. I'll link it below, because I want it finished as a flat fold for them to display in their kitchen next to their coffee machine. So that was Lizzie Kate, and the booklet is booklet number 128 called Coffee Crazy. So that was my second finish. Okay, so I also stitched on I have a new start and some whips as well. Excuse me while I have a quick drink. The first whip that I worked on is this design here, and this is Hands to Work, called Moonflower. This is one that I bought at market, and I had it sitting, and I just decided I wanted to start it. I just need to check which fabric this is stitched on because I can't remember. Totally out of practice, do you know that? Oh, this is 32 count fawn. So this is Picture This Plus, 32 count fawn, and that's as far as I've gotten with this one. Sorry, I have itchy nose. I can't even remember when I stitched on it, but I know I've stitched on it since the last time I saw you, because I did this motif here and I started on the houses at the bottom. If you see the houses at the bottom, there's still quite a few to do, but I've probably done most. That's the whole size of it. So that's the top. I still have some stuff to do at the bottom here, but this is 32 count fawn by Picture This Plus, and this is stitched using all the called for, and I think they're all over dies. Yeah, they're all over dies. It's very whimsical. It's not usually my style, but I have really enjoyed stitching on it. And at the moment, I think small motifs really work for me, because then I see some sort of kind of completion, rather than if it's a big chunk, because then I kind of lose the ability to kind of keep myself motivated to stitch on it. So that's Moonflower by Hands to Work. I mean, there's still quite a bit to do on it, but yeah, I can see it being finished in the near future. And then I picked up a project that I haven't stitched on for quite a while, and it's this one here, and this is Halloween in Quilt by Cuore, Batticuore, and I'm doing this as a stitch along with the lovely Melanie from Melly Ellie Stitches. She is doing sewing. I think it is the sewing in quilt, maybe you can correct me, Melanie. But this is how far I've gotten on this one, and the last time you saw it, I think I was just really working on the little witch, but I've come up, done some of the border, and I've started to work on this block here. I'll show you which block it is. If you look here, you can see it's the one that's got the, oh my goodness, I'm really out of practice, this one here with all the lantern on it. So these are big though. I mean, what's the size? 2 something by 1. These are huge. I do like stitching on it, but again, there's a lot of stitching in these blocks. So, but I feel as if I've made some progress. The colours are not quite right of the fabric. The colours of the stitching is correct. It is lovely and bright and very Halloweeny. But the fabric, I'm not quite sure which fabric this is. My goodness, so disorganised this time. I'm very sorry. I've got a feeling it might be some sort of Zweigart, maybe just their neutral. Maybe it's summer khaki. It might be summer khaki. But yeah, so that's how far I've gotten on that one. I would like to try and finish this block before the end of the month. Yeah, who knows? But it's a really enjoyable stitch. I really do enjoy working on it. So that's Halloween in Quilt. We've also got a hashtag, which I can't remember, but I will put it down below. So if you're stitching on one of these in quilts, and there's quite a few, then it would be good if you could join the hashtag, and then we can all kind of follow each other's progress. And the final thing that I've stitched on in the last few weeks, because it's not really been 4 weeks, was a new start, and it's this one here. And I did post it on Instagram, and a lot of people had commented that they'd also stitched it. And it's this one by Heart and Hand called Wonderful Life. I'm also doing this as a gift for someone, but what I really liked was that the motifs were quite small, so I could feel as if I was making some sort of progress. And it does come with the little button pack as well. I bought mine from Peakside Needleworks, including the button pack. The threads, they're all over dye threads, and there is quite a lot. So you'll see there's quite a lot in the little design. And this is how far I've gotten on it. I will need to take it out of the Q-snap to show you. My goodness, I feel a bit of a car crash. I'm sorry. But yeah, I did really want to try and film today. And this is how far I've gotten on it. So it's actually about a third. I've probably done about a third of it. And if you look here, I kind of love these little mushrooms, although they don't have their stalks yet. I will do them. but that's how far I've gotten on this one. And this is stitched on 32 count Zweigart Platinum, which is, I forgot how good and neutral that was. I hadn't really, I haven't stitched on platinum for long enough, but it is really, it's really a good neutral. So there's still a little bit to go, and what it actually says on it is how wonderful life is now that you are in the world. So I think it's meant as a birth sampler. That's not how I'm doing it. I'm doing it as a different type of gift, but yeah, it's quite good, and it's perfect for me just now because I have a very short attention span for stitching. And that is, I think, everything that I've been stitching on in the last couple of weeks. So it's not a lot, but I have stitched on something. Yeah, and I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks that I get to stitch a little bit more and I get a little bit more progress, rather than what it's been like. It's been tough. So the next thing I have is some haul. Some of this is kind of standard haul, and some of it's stuff that I've bought off of Stash Unload. And I want to just say a few words about eBay. Anybody who's watched me know I'm a little bit of an eBay. I don't know. I'm often on eBay looking around. I've had some success on eBay picking up some out of print stuff. But I just wanted to give a cautionary word, because there is a seller at the moment, and I don't want to out them or anything, but I just want to say, can you be careful? There is a seller at the moment, and what I've noticed is that this seller is selling a lot of Blackbird designs, and some of them are out of print, and they are selling them for very high prices. But some of the stuff they're selling is not out of print. So my cautionary tale would be, just be careful before plumping for something that may not be out of print at all. And maybe this person does legitimately think that the chart's out of print, but I've seen things there that I have actually recently bought that are not out of print. And some of the stuff that has been reprinted, because Blackbird Design have reprinted quite a few charts. So just be careful. And I'm assuming this person is a stitcher, but they could just be an ordinary eBay seller. But not everything that they say is out of print is out of print. So yeah, that's what I saw. And this person does actually have a chart that I want, but I'm not prepared to pay the £100 that they're looking for. This is a Blackbird chart. But equally, they have things there that they're saying is out of print, and it's not out of print. So that's my cautionary tale about eBay. And I do scout around a lot on eBay for different things. Anyway, what have I been buying? Because not a week can go by where I'm not buying. It's funny that I was really ill and sick, but I still managed to scroll on my phone. So the first thing I picked up was this Blooming Tiny Town by Heart and Hand. I've got the other two. I think actually there's another 3. I think there's Patriotic, but I've not bought Patriotic. But there's Valentine and Christmas, and now this is Blooming. Hopefully I'll get myself together and get them stitched. I really do like them. I think they're really cute. I think I'm sure I've seen another Flosstuber stitching them. I can't think. Is it Helen D? It might be Helen D. But yeah, I really do like them. So I picked that up. I also picked this up off Stash Unload. It was just someone selling some charts. So it's Shakespeare's Peddler Primitive Christmas. And I do quite like a bit of prim now and then. I also picked up this one here. And the funny thing is, I had been looking at this chart because I'm thinking this could be my birthday start this year. I'm maybe. Maybe. I really do like it. And I had seen it somewhere else, and then when I tried to buy it, it was just sold out. And then someone was selling it on Facebook, on one of the groups. So I managed to get a hold of this, and I really do like it. So I picked that up. I possibly might kit this up today to see what I've got in my DMC, because I'm quite keen to do it. And then I picked this one up as well, which is by Little Dove Designs, and it's just Home of a Stitcher. No. Yeah, it is Home of a Stitcher, but it says a Stitcher lives here. And this is really quite, it's not big at all. Let me see. It's 55 by 69. So this might be my next kind of small start that I have, because I think I could rattle that one out quite quickly. And then I had my fabric of the month from Sparkly's. Excuse the crinkling while I show you this piece. Right, so this is the Sparkly's fabric of the month, May 2022. And I hope you can see the lovely, it's like ice, I would say, possibly. Let me see if I can get it as a, no, it's much, yeah, so it's not white, but there's a distinct kind of mottling to it. And I would say it's kind of like maybe a pale ice. And actually, although I keep changing my mind because I wasn't sure, I wondered if it would be suitable for this chart here. I wonder, because there's not so many light colours, and it might be quite complementary rather than doing it on maybe antique white or something like that. So I did think about that. So I got that, fabric of the month. And then I also picked up a couple of other pieces of fabric. This was a piece of Picture This Plus, and this is gingerbread. Picked this up from, where did I get this? 123 Stitch, I think it was. I bought this for a particular chart, and now I'm not sure what I've done with the chart. It was the Heartstring Sampleries C is for Coffee, I think. So I'm sure it needs gingerbread, so I've got a piece of gingerbread. And then what else have I got in here? This is a piece of platinum, and this is a piece of summer khaki. So there you go, platinum and summer khaki. This one's platinum, this one is summer khaki. I got a piece each of them. And the final piece of fabric that I've bought in the last few weeks is a piece of ale. Again, apologies for the crinkling. I had no plans, no need for this piece of ale. I just decided I was going to buy it. So a piece of Picture This Plus ale. Again, everything that I've bought is 32 count. So yeah, I wanted to have a piece of that in my stash. I also received my threads. You know, I'm in the thread club with Lakeside Needlecraft. So I'm in the Classic Colourworks. So it looks like we're on to G now. Yep. So I've now got my threads to add to my ring. And I think actually in my next video I'll show you the ring and how full it is, because I think maybe it's now time to start a new one. But that's building up slowly but surely. And then I picked up a couple of Needleminders, and I do like Needleminders, and I use them a lot. But I've got a feeling I might have seen this on Facebook. See, that's what happens when you're sick and you're not doing much. Then you go on Facebook a lot, and Instagram, and eBay, and Etsy. But I got it from this company here, which is called the Stitching Den. I really quite liked her Needleminders. Well, I'll show you the two that I got. So this was the first one. Okay, hopefully that'll focus. And then this was the second one. There was no idea of projects or anything. I just really liked them. And what's really good is that she sends them with a little packet of love hearts, which I've eaten. But yeah, I got 2 little Needleminders as well. I would certainly recommend. It was a good experience, no problems, came quite quickly. And finally, I bought this book, and I know there's been some Flosstubers talking about it. I've not started it yet, but the premise is about Mary Queen of Scots, who obviously came to Scotland in the 16th century when Elizabeth I was on the the throne in England. And actually, the idea of the book is that she embroidered messages. And I think it was Michelle from Mama Love You GB, she's been listening to an audiobook. I've not started it yet, but what's quite good is there is illustrations in this. So if you're interested in this kind of historical literature, then this might appeal to some people. There's another batch. Yep, here we go. So hopefully by the time I film again, I'll have at least started it, and then I can tell you what I think of it. But yeah, so it's by Claire Hunter. Yep, so I would recommend that. What else do I have to share with you? I've got a quick giveaway, which I'll do now, but I wanted to thank everyone who has bought me a coffee in the last few weeks. It's greatly appreciated. I've already sent away the last giveaway winner, which was Brigitte. It's away to Germany, and this time I thought I would give away a chart that I have just finished, and the flosses, which would be this chart here. I really enjoyed stitching this. I'll never stitch it again. Once it was fine, so I thought I would give away the chart and the 3 flosses, which will be more than enough to do it. And if you're interested, if you can use the word spring in your comment, or just put spring, and all the usual conditions apply. So don't say giveaway or prize or anything like that. Please be over 18 so that you can give me your address, and yeah, I'll choose a winner using the random comment picker in the next time I film, which will hopefully be in about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks time, depending on when my surgery is. But if you would like to win this chart and the threads, then please say the word spring in your comment. And I think that's all I've got for you today. I'd like to thank everyone for reaching out to find out if I was okay. I'm hoping one of these days when I come on to film, I don't have any drama. It's all nice stuff. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be like that for me at the moment. But I'm doing fine, and no doubt the next few weeks will be quite a challenge. But I hope you're all well, taking care of one another, and happy stitching, and I'll see you in a few weeks' time. Take care. Bye-bye.